Deep in the hellhole of Eastern Europe lies a nation, that nation being Poland. You see, Poland hasn't been doing all too well over the past century, but after being given relative independence by the Germans after World War I, Poland now has a chance to return herself to relevance. And the only man who can lead Poland back into relevancy is the man, the myth, the legend, Jesus Christ himself. Just as a quick heads up guys, in order to play this path you just need to turn on the Regni de Polonia thing in the custom game rules. Right off the bat, and yeah, Poland is not doing too well, man. But it is my job to fix everything quite yet. I just need to make everybody hate Poland, or the government, at least. And that isn't that hard to do, with Black Monday right off the bat, crashing not only us, but everybody around us too. With the economy now bust, the people are understandably pissed off at the government. The Regency, being as incompetent as it is, still can't find a solution quite yet though. And so, Poland is kinda going into the dumpster, I'm not gonna lie. Eventually, shit would officially hit the fan and the government would collapse. With the lack of a central government, radicals were now trying to vie for control of the state. But to everybody's surprise, neither the nationalists nor the communists would actually come out on top. Rather, the hyper-Christian Polish Rebirth League would take over. And so now Poland was officially Christian once again. The Germans seeing us as too radical would also expel us from the Reichspakt. But this wouldn't matter to us, as we had no interest to stay with those Teuton rats. Now I know this is a meme path and nothing is supposed to make sense, but I still find it pretty funny that we get so many buffs. I mean, partial mobilization and extensive conscription in one focus, a bunch of attack and defense bonuses. I mean, it's kind of excessive for Christian Poland, man. But whatever, I'm not complaining, that's for sure. Eventually, Poland was deemed stable enough to finally have her permanent leadership decided. The factions vying for control were the GWL, some weird neo-pagan guys, the Cavaliers of Jesus Christ, who basically just want to do more crusading, and some communist Jews, or something like that. Obviously, I went with the Cavaliers, as crusading is far more interesting than being some weird neo-pagans, or just doing communism, man, fuck that. We were also able to, by using our faith, annex Galicia. We simply sent so many people to some weird cathedral down there that the government just gave up and we were able to annex all of their lands. For free, might I add. The Romanians would also approach us asking for Bukovina. It was only 2 tiles, so I figured why not sell them. I didn't even have cores on them, so why not? Ukraine would also actually fall into a civil war with some socialists revolting against Petliura. I was actually able to take advantage of their despair by just seizing eastern Ukraine, and so, obviously being the warmonger that I am, I took those tiles, without any repercussions. For now, we're not really doing anything, aside from stealing other people's land. I don't know, man, we're just reforming the nation in some ways, really just preparing ourselves for our crusade with the Germans and everybody around us. Soon enough, the nation was prepared sufficiently enough, and we could now proclaim Christ as our righteous king. Soon enough after that, we were actually able to core the entirety of the world somehow. I guess that the power of Christ just compels everybody into wanting to become a part of Poland. A little bit after that, in the event for Jesus Christ becoming the king of Poland had finally come around. Now, no longer were we Crusader Poland, nor just regular Poland. We are now Christian Poland with a disgusting flag, but more notably Jesus Christ, the rightful king, as our leader. Eventually, we would actually find the Holy Grail of all things in Poland, which, I mean, it's cool, it gives me a bunch of buffs, but it's just kind of strange that it'd be in some random-ass church in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Poland. Hey, I'll take it though, more defense and org bonuses or whatever it gave me. Annoyingly, however, Russia would move to annex Belarus and actually somehow be successful in that, so I guess I'm not getting Belarus, man. It is what it is, though. I'll get it later. Soon after that, Russia would also invade Ukraine. I wonder why I've seen this one before, but Ukraine was guaranteed by both the Germans and the Austrians, so the Second World War has officially kicked off with Russia instead of France. A little bit later, and I finally decided that, maybe Poland should actually do some expansionism. And so my first target was the Austro-Hungarian Empire, since Illyria was still at war with them, so it seemed like the prime time to try and take some land. Now this war was a horrible slog. I mean, it wasn't hard, but they just had so many divisions that they just constantly reinforced and prevent me from actually being able to take significant tiles. Though they had a lot of divisions, they were all very, and I mean very incompetent. So, as soon as I made a breakthrough, I could just quickly move around and circle some divisions, efficiently destroy those guys, and move on relatively fast. The Polish soldiers were quite literally guided by God. Every time a Polish soldier was shot, he'd just get back up and brush it off like it was nothing. Thanks to all the buffs that we got, I pretty much just had Christian Terminators exterminating Hungarians, Czechs, and Austrians all at the same time. Eventually, I had made another breach in the Hungarian lines, and I took advantage of this, and actually was able to take Budapest. However, after this we would return to somewhat of a stalemate. This didn't mean that the Austro-Hungarians were actually going to be able to win though, because, I mean, I'm Jesus Christ Poland. You can't win against that, buddy. Good luck. The only thing holding me back was their division counts. They were able to somewhat efficiently reinforce tiles as soon as I would kick out their previous divisions. Yeah, it was just really annoying to try and deal with all of their divisions. I was still able to encircle many of them and destroy them though. This war would just take a whole lot longer than I originally hoped for it to. Given some time though, I was actually able to split Hungary in two by meeting up with the Illyrian lines along the Danube. And so, yeah, I mean, it's genuinely Jover for the Austro-Hungarians. It's really, in fact, it's always just been a matter of time for them. The Krauts would surprisingly have the audacity to suggest that we merge our currencies. Obviously, I refused. I don't even know why they would try and propose that. I'm not even in the Reichspakt, man, and pretty much just left them on red. Yeah, clearly I'm not going to merge our fucking currencies. What are you thinking, buddy?
You fucking...
Soon enough, I was actually able to find a hole in the Austrian lines and just snake and take Vienna, man. Cursed ass game, I swear. But I wouldn't be able to hold it for long, since I didn't have enough divisions to cover the whole front. A little while after that, I would also eventually snake down the remaining Hungarian cities in Transylvania, finally capitulating this rat nation. Now all I need to do is deal with the Austrians, and they were actually surprisingly a harder nut to crack than I expected, but that's just because of the Alps. If it weren't for all of those stupid mountains, then they would have been dead a year ago. Sometime during my push into Austria, the French would join the Second Weltkrieg and declare war on Germany. The Germans were very unprepared for this, and that's all I can really say. The Germans just focused too much on Russia, and so France was pretty much just gonna mop up what was left. Now, I really wanted to invade Germany too, but that just really would not be a possibility. I was taking too long to take down Austria, so I just had to settle with what I could get. The French were just sweeping through Germany too fast. By the time that I capitulated Austria, the French were already really close to Berlin. And so, yeah, I really didn't have a chance at getting German land for now. On the bright side, with Austria now dead, I could now begin to easily start to snowball. And yeah, I was just becoming so much more powerful now with all the Austro-Hungarian industry and population. And not so soon after, the German Empire would officially capitulate to both France and Russia. The Second Weltkrieg has concluded in syndicalist Russian victory. I was also able to seize some German lands through a decision. It was just occupy Greater Poland, and so yeah, I got some free land. Now I was just going to try and mop up as many former Reichspakt or just free nations in general before they joined factions. I just want to try and get as much land as I can before, everything becomes untouchable. Soon enough, I had intervened in Lithuania. They didn't put up really any defenses against me, so I just quickly strolled into their nation and annexed it. After that, I had also invaded Romania. They were not hard at all. It's just Romania against a Christian Polish superstate, man. So what do you expect? Annoyingly, the Russians were actually very displeased with me taking so much land, and they decided to declare war on me as soon as I started training my divisions. They were not in any fighting shape, though. I mean, they were losing against the Germans for like a year or two, and so it was really, really easy to push into their land.
I'm sorry.
In general, I'd actually say that this war turned out to be a good thing for me. I mean, since I said as before, it was really easy to fight Russia, but I finally got my piece of German territory, and in general, I just got a lot of free land in the Balkans and everywhere in general. It really just seemed like the Russian faction was as unprepared as I was for this war. They had barely anything on my border. Yeah, I mean, it was just really easy to push in, man. That's pretty much it. The only thing impeding me was the Ukrainian border gore, but as soon as I got past Ukraine, it was smooth sailing. I also quickly cleared up Prussia. There were just hardly any defenses set up there, and yeah, it was free land practically. Soon enough after just battle planning, I had found myself on the doorstep of Petrograd, and also actually in Moscow, surprisingly. All I need to do now is push to the Urals, and it's gonna be easy, man, so I'll just quickly cut to that. And once I entered the city of Perm, the Russian Republic, or whatever it is, had finally surrendered. I would also set up a Siberian and some Central Asian puppets, along with mopping up Ukraine, since I don't want to deal with these disgusting borders. Ukraine was, a very easy fight. I mean, everything was very disconnected, and it was just really easy, man, I'm not gonna lie. And with Ukraine now mopped up, Christian Poland spans the entirety of Eastern Europe, with the exception of Albania, Greece, and Bulgaria, but they're just insignificant Balkan nations. And now comes the final part. The final objective, I guess you could call it, of this video, for me to avenge the original Crusades by, taking back Jerusalem. The first nations on my hit list were Iran and Armenia. They were not hard at all to destroy. I mean, they're just two insignificant nations when compared to my great Polish Christian state. And yeah, I mean, their divisions were all pretty bad, and it was just really easy to take them down. With those two now dealt with, my next objective was to retake Constantinople from the Ottomans. The Ottomans were also quite the pushover. I mean, as soon as I broke the mountains, then they just completely collapsed. So yeah, at this point I had also started to use cavalry, since I got even more bonuses for those guys. And yeah, I'm just, as you guys can see, I'm just clearly rolling the Ottomans, man. It was super easy to take them down. Not long later, I had entered Ankara, and the road to Constantinople was open. And a few weeks after that, I had actually entered Constantinople, capitulating the Ottomans while also avenging the Byzantines. And now there was only one thing left in my way: the Cairo Axis. They, however, were also pushovers. My cavalry were just simply put too insane. Not only did they have the stats to break through the Cairo Axis front lines, they also had the speed to quickly outmaneuver and encircle plenty of divisions. Soon enough, I would get this devastating pocket which would cripple the Axis armies, and so now I could easily ride down to the Syrian capital of Damascus, capitulating them. Finally, the city of Jerusalem was once again Christian as well. After nearly 900 years of being under foreign oppression, we can now proclaim that the city is once again part of us. The only nation left to oppose me was Egypt, but they were also quite the pushover. I quickly broke across the Suez, and that was that for them. After that, I quickly took Cairo and encircled Alexandria. With the fall of those two cities and a couple of more tiles, the Egyptians had finally surrendered, and once again, I was at peace. I decided to call it after that, because I didn't really want to fight the International. Forgot to say, but I also joined the Entente, so yeah, they are massive now, man. Holy hell. But anyways, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Sorry for the post-recording if you didn't like it. I just felt like doing it, so yeah. Please subscribe. And yeah, have a good one, guys. See you in the next one.